I'm saying let's go. You're saying maybe. Let's find a disco. You're stuck at home being so lazy. Hey. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come.
Hi everybody, welcome to my Big Tidy Up. My name is DeDe. Thanks for tuning in today. Now today's video is a decluttering marathon. This video is designed to get you motivated and inspired to maybe declutter and tackle some of those problem areas and get our homes ready for the new year. Now, I don't know if you guys are like me, but when you watch a decluttering video, sometimes, you see the beginning and then you kind of fast forward and speed to the end because you're ready to get to the good stuff and see the results. Well, this video, you don't have to do that. I've already done it for you. I'm going to show you the beginning, we're going to race through the middle, and then I'm going to show you the end result. So you've got 6 before and 6 afters to get you motivated and inspired. I appreciate you joining me today. So without any further ado, let's get to decluttering and let's get tidy.
Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me.
Okay, friends, the first place I want to go back and revisit is this closet. And I call this closet the My Big Tidy Up closet because I do keep a lot of storage containers and organizing items in here. And I'll pick up containers that I think I might use in the future for my own home or something I'll set back for a My Big Tidy Up on the go. And I also use this area, it's my gift and wrapping area. I keep party supplies, craft items in here. So it really is an all-purpose closet, which is why I am constantly in here and I am constantly having to declutter and reorganize this space. The goal I had for the closet was really just to make it much more functional, and for it to be functional, I knew that I was going to have to declutter, and then it would be so much easier to organize the remaining items. Now, I did want to update some labels and make bigger labels, but on these drawers, I just wanted to eliminate the labels altogether.
The best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body.
Now these little totes with the lids that I picked up several years ago, they have worked out so well for me. I like them because I can see what's inside, I'm able to stack them, and they're just large enough to hold a complete category of items for me, yet they're small enough that things don't get lost on the bottom, and they're small enough to keep me honest because I just can't have too much of one thing or it won't fit in the tote. And that's where I was. I was starting to outgrow these totes, so it was definitely time to declutter, thin the herd, and I just went ahead and updated the labels while I was doing everything else. Decluttering the totes and relabeling everything definitely took the majority of the time for this project, but once the totes were done, I was still left with everything else that needed to be decluttered that came out of the closet. But I will say this part did go a little bit faster. I wiped down the closet, I ran the vacuum, and I started reloading my metal shelving. And as I was doing that, I was trying to think of how I would place the items that I was keeping back in the closet. Things that I didn't use very often, I would put on the top, and things that I reached for a lot on a regular basis, I would put more on these metal shelves, and then I just had to sit down and go through everything and get the job done.
Be afraid. I will hold you till the sun comes crashing down. I'm yours until the end of time.
So here are the results from the My Big Tidy Up Closet Declutter. Now, although this was probably one of my smallest declutters of the year, it really had a huge impact on the functionality of this closet. I was able to get rid of 42 items and a small bag of trash.
You are the hunter tonight. I'm right here dodging the light, but nobody knows who is the cat, who's the mouse. And I'm not gonna stay here to figure it out. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. It's just my lying heart, the one you try to tame. I'll be on my way, and I won't try to stay. I let my lying heart keep on moving. There is no fear to erase. All doubts, I blow them away. 'Cause I'm the one you can't hold down. Now I got my eyes on the crowd, and this is why I just know this time I won't wait. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. It's just my lying heart, the one you try to tame. I'll be on my way, and I won't try.
Well, next it was time to tackle another problem area, and that's my kitchen storage. And to be more specific, my food storage containers. Clearly, I had too many containers. I had containers without lids, lids without containers, containers that were plastic with splits in them. I had glass containers with cracks in them, and I had so many small containers for leftovers. And come on now, nobody has that many leftovers.
I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way.
When I started this declutter, I really thought I was just going to focus on my food storage containers, but it kind of had a snowball effect because I remembered over here at the coffee bar, I had a lot of dishes that I wasn't using, and I'm all about having dishes on display, but these were not on display. They were just pushed to the back, and some of them I was even hiding behind the coffee cups, so it was definitely time to get rid of a lot of these items because they weren't being used and they definitely weren't being displayed.
Epiphany rising, got it all wrong. You see bright as lightning. Already memories. Now I just don't really care what you feel, what you feel, what you feel. Shame on me, thinking it was just a phase. Got me like ooh, got me like ooh. Ain't it fun recognizing your mistakes? Got me like ooh, feeling so ooh. Now I brought my worst behavior, throwing a party in my head. Yeah, prayers from.
Once I got everything on the counter, I was completely shocked that we had this many food storage containers and they all came from one cabinet. Now I know some people may have more, but we're empty nesters. There's just the two of us. And I filled this box just with the coffee bar and I hadn't even planned on getting anything from there.
False advertising, You were not meant for me, still not surprising. Need no apologies, cause stats don't really care what you think, what you think, what you think. Shame on me thinking it was.
Well, it was time. Out with the old and in with the new. And getting this lid organizer, well, it's been a game changer. It's been months now, and I haven't had to look for a lid, not one time. And here is what I decluttered. This small stack, 26 items, they all went to the trash because they were either cracked or chipped. And over here is the share and donate, which was 134 items, which makes a grand total of 160 items that left my kitchen that day.
Now I brought my worst behavior, throwing a party in my head. Yeah, prayers from all my saviors. Just let it rain all over me, 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 over I'm saying let's go. You're saying maybe. Let's find a disco. You're stuck at home being so lazy. Hey. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body. You must be crazy. Turning me down like that is pretty insane. You need to break free. Live fast and die young and let yourself go. Let yourself go. Hey, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come.
Okay, friends, welcome to what I used to refer to as the closet of doom. And you know, this is the one place that day after day, week after week, month after month, I kept putting off getting in here and decluttering and organizing it. And I had the hardest time figuring out why it was so hard for me to keep this closet cleaned and organized. And then I finally figured out what the problem was. You know, I have always said that everything needs to have a home, a place for everything and everything in its place. So if you're searching for something, you know right where to go and find it. If I'm looking for a pair of scissors, I know right where to go because they have a home in a drawer and they're always going to be in that same place. And I think that every place in your home should have a purpose. So like the linen closet, what's its purpose? Well, we keep linens in there. Well, here, what do you do with a guest room closet that really has no guests. Because if we have guests, they stay down in the basement. And so this guest room closet really wasn't set up for a guest. So it just became an area that everything got thrown into. So what I decided to do is I was going to divide this closet up into zones, and each zone would have a purpose. And if it didn't suit that purpose and it didn't go in that zone, it wasn't coming in the closet. I had so many random things in this closet, and I know that's one reason why I kept putting it off. I had keepsake clothing from when my children got married. I still had some of their keepsake clothing, their formal wear, graduation gowns. I had different bedding sets. I had blankets that had been passed down, extra bags. I had paperwork. I had projects that I thought I might accomplish. I had some of those stashed in there. I had all of our luggage. And I even brought in some extra rubber totes because I thought, well, that'll help me get everything organized and sort everything. Well, I came to realize the best way to organize is to have less to organize. So I really didn't even end up using all the totes that I brought in. I just put an old blanket on the bed. I put everything on top so that I could see what I had and go through it. Now, I will say the hardest thing to go through were all of these cards. These were cards that my husband and I had exchanged and we had been holding on to. And so I had to kind of figure out what I was going to keep, what I was going to get rid of these, and how I would do it. So here's the plan we came up with for the cards. We put all of the cards into one big rubber tote, and we took that tote into our little sitting room that's right next to this room where my husband and I have coffee. And every morning we would go and look at the cards as we were having coffee, and when we were done, we threw them away. Now, it did take us several weeks to go through all the cards, but it was really nice to enjoy them instead of them just being stored in boxes. Now, we did save a few special ones, and we keep them all in one box. And if the time comes when we outgrow that box, well, we'll go down memory lane again. Now, as far as my zones go, I set up 4 different zones: a travel zone, a keepsake zone, a clothing zone, and a bedding zone. And if it didn't fit into one of those categories, well, it didn't make the cut. Well, here is everything that didn't make the cut. I am so happy to have this closet organized and decluttered. It really probably was one of my most satisfying declutters all year long. I got rid of 123 items, 12 items that went to my daughter, plus 2 unfinished projects and a bag of trash, for a total of 137 items in a bag of trash. It was a good day's work. Well, remember earlier I said that everything needs to have a home? Well, the problem that we were having with this cabinet is that it was set up to be a home to like too many different things. And this top cabinet we used to have where we would hold our workout clothes and paint clothes. And honestly, for our family, it's pretty much the same thing. We don't get too fancy to work out. But I was trying to keep all of these items, bulky items like sweatshirts and things like that, in these smaller containers. Well, they wouldn't fit. You couldn't really see everything. So I did have some of the clear containers, but these small blue ones were just not working. So what I wanted to do was declutter all of these items, keep paint clothes out in the garage with the painting items, because I figured, well, if I'm out getting painting stuff, that would be a good place to keep my painting clothes so I could free up more room, declutter this spot, and then I would switch from a lot of these blue containers to these clear containers so that we could see everything that we had. In the bottom cabinet, well, different items, same problem. All of the swimming things are kept down here, and we had too many things we didn't use, and what we did want to use, we could never find. Since I've switched to these containers, it really has made a huge difference on how this cabinet stays organized. Now, I know I could put everything in the cabinet without containers, and you don't have to have containers to be organized, but when I use the containers, it really does keep me honest. It's kind of like my conscience. It helps me remember that just because I have the space doesn't mean I need to fill it up clear to the top. Laundry room closet declutter total, 52 items. And since we're in that closet almost every day, 52 items gone makes a big difference.
You and I meant for me, still not surprising. Need no apologies, cause I just don't really care what you think, what you think, what you think. Shame on me, thinking it was just a phase. Got me like, ooh, got me like, ooh. Ain't it fun recognizing your mistakes? Got me like, ooh, feels like, ooh. Now I brought my worst behavior, throwing a party in my head. Yeah, prayers from my savior. Just let it rain all over me, over me,
Oh, the dreaded garage declutter. This was another one of those declutters that I had been dreading, and I was constantly finding, any old excuse not to go out and get it done. And normally the garage isn't an area I spend a lot of time in, and it really tends to be more of my husband's domain. But the reason I felt like I needed to be the one to go out and organize and declutter it is because, well, truthfully, I'd been the one messing it up. I started stashing things in the tall cabinet, especially extra boxes, because I have become one of those people that save what I consider to be a good box, for a later date. I'd also been doing some projects out on the counters, so I had left a mess there. Not to mention, we had a few bulk items that we went to Sam's and I hadn't got them put up, so I really felt like I needed to be the one to get out here and get this garage back in order.
You're stuck at home being so lazy. Give me some, give me some, give me some.
Most of the time when I do a declutter, I have a huge donate pile and a small trash pile, but this declutter ended up being quite the opposite. There were just a few items to donate, but tons of trash, which lets you know that the things I was saving were not useful things. Like, why would someone need 4 extra fan blades? At that point, don't we just need a new fan? Sometimes my thought process, it does steer off course.
Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body. You must be crazy. Turning me down like that is pretty insane. You need to break free. Live fast and die young and let yourself go. Let yourself go. Hey, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Come move your body. There's no fire without smoke. I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke. I ain't letting you go.
Now I know this declutter may not look too impressive because there were just 3 items to donate and 2 big bags of trash, but just know some very good boxes were sacrificed in this declutter.
Burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last man falls. I don't need them anyway. When I'm with you, I have it all. Oh, I'll never let you slip away. Oh, and you don't have to be afraid. I will hold you till the sun comes crashing down. I'm yours until the end of time. Say my name until the city burns and the stars fade away and your scars don't hurt. Stay with me until the last man falls. I don't need them anyway. When I'm with you, I have it all. Oh, I'll never let you slip away. Oh, and you don't have to be afraid. I will hold you till the sun comes crashing down. I'm yours until the end of time. scars fade away and your scars don't say my name, stay with me till the stars.
One thing that I've been doing that helps keep my home a little less cluttered is to schedule declutters at the end of each season. Now, if I have a problem area and I'm feeling motivated that day, I'll jump in and do a declutter anytime in my home. But as far as my problem areas, which are my closet and any place that I stash home decor, it works so much better if I keep on top of it and schedule it at the end of each season, especially when it comes to my clothes. At the end of summer, I'll know if I wore those items. If I wait and try to do a huge declutter once a year or even twice a year in my closet, it's hard for me to remember. Did you wear this blouse 6 months ago? Did you wear those pair of pants? It's hard for me to remember because, truthfully, I can't even remember what I made for dinner last week, much less what I wore 6 to 9 months ago. So scheduling a declutter at the end of each season keeps me so much better on track. For those of you that are new here, I have two main places that I stash home decor, this cabinet and then a closet down in the basement. And on this day, they both get decluttered. And although I hadn't planned on going through any books, the snowball effect had already started and I was just rolling with it. Well, here are the results of my end of summer declutter. 95 items total. And you know, it really wasn't this massive declutter in one area. I really just hit several areas, especially my problem areas, my closet, and any place that I stash home decor, and it all added up. So it doesn't always have to be this huge, massive undertaking in one room or one closet. Sometimes if you just hit some small problem areas along the way, you end up with a great declutter. Well, Tidy Uppers, that's a wrap for today. And actually, it's a wrap for the year. I will see you next year in January, where I'll be focusing the entire month to decluttering and organizing. Please take care of yourself, and until I see you next year, stay tidy.